Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden and this is my preview of Venomverse. So today Marvel published Edge of Venomverse number 1, the premiere issue of a series that previews their next big Spider-Man event. As the name might stipulate, this will involve a mishmash of Venom characters from across the multiverse working together to fight something called the Poisons. From what I've seen out of the preview shots in this new Edge of Venomverse issue, and remembering that I had a pretty good time with Spider-Verse, at the very least this event looks promising. Cullen Bunn will be writing the story, a staple choice out of Marvel's current lineup, but a good one. He did well with Monsters Unleashed and has a history of writing solid stories with pseudo-villainous characters like Venom. His time on Magneto alone kind of makes me pretty optimistic that Venomverse will be pretty good. The editor of Venomverse, Devin Lewis, says, if Spider-Verse was Saving Private Ryan, then Venomverse is Die Hard, which is a really weird thing to say. Spider-Verse is not some deep, overly somber take on war or anything like that. But what I think he's trying to say is that Venomverse is going to be a looser, more fun action piece, in comparison less epic and serious than Spider-Verse was, and that works for me. That's kind of what you'd want out of a Venomverse story versus a Spider-Verse story anyways. Thus far, it looks like they're doing that. Edge of Venomverse gives us some idea of what we can expect out of the story, and I kinda have a sense of where they're going with this from reading it. So things open in the comic introducing us to a new Venom, one that bonded with another world's version of X-23. As you might imagine, she's pretty awesome. She has an interesting back and forth with her symbiote, and has a really cool looking design overall. Sure enough, the issue ends with her being confronted by what looks like a Captain America version of Venom, and he seems to be drafting her into some sort of army. From this, I get a strong sense that we're in for some very cool characters, old and new. Obviously, the current Venom, bonded again with Eddie Brock, will be showing up. Various promotional images suggest we're likely to see a Venom 2099, a version of Flash Thompson, a T-Rex Venom from Old Man Logan, and a whole bunch of new characters. A cool aspect of the Venom symbiote is that it works pretty much with any Marvel character. We've already seen now that with Captain America and X-23, but it looks like we can expect that with Iron Man, Black Panther, and Deadpool as well. The Iron Man one looks so cool, for example. It's also been confirmed we're getting weird Venom counterparts like with Spider-Ham and Gwenpool. Make of that what you will, but they've also announced other cool new characters like Ghost Rider and Old Man Logan himself as Venom host, and that's pretty awesome. That was the fun part about Spider-Verse after all. Not only did we get some familiar faces in action, some of whom were working together for the first time ever, we also got introduced to new characters like Spider-Gwen. Will there be any breakout stars like her this time around? Only time will tell. But then we get to the big question. What are all these Venoms gathering together to fight over? According to Marvel, that's going to be the Poisons, as I said. These are new beings that can take over any host, much like Venom, and we see an example of this with some concept art with one that has taken over a Hulk. By design, these are some sort of natural answer and opponent to the symbiotes, and my guess is they work similar to Venom, but are more aggressive or dangerous somehow. They seem to have some sort of armor, which maybe is really good at warding off attacks from the Venom symbiote. According to Cullen Bunn, they have a certain horror element to them which will be felt throughout the story, and I can kind of see that. The whole idea of Venom kind of introduces the need for a horror tone anyways, but when we think about being infected and this thing working its way through your body, either through a poison or venom creature, that could be pretty creepy if handled correctly. So I have a feeling the story is going to play out like this. The Poisons will be this big threat for Venoms everywhere, so some version of Venom, likely one that we already know on some level, or some elderly version of Peter Parker that's been carrying around the Venom symbiote for years or something like that, that person's going to gather an army to fight them. I don't think it's the Captain America Venom, I think he's working on behalf of someone else. There will be some internal power struggles and some early fights, much like with Spider-Verse, before we get to a big battle against the Poisons, and that will likely involve the Prime Earth Eddie Brock in some capacity. This is especially likely because Marvel's going to be very eager to prove there was value in bringing Eddie back as the host of Venom. So I mean, it's almost a given that he's going to play a big role in all of this, but it'd be weird if he didn't. So there you have it, everything I know so far about Venomverse. You can keep following the Edge of Venomverse series as it goes along. It'll be leading up to the full series, which will be coming out in September. We aren't really sure how exactly we'll be covering it, but I'm sure we'll do something. I'll see if Joey can put together a reading order for the event on our website, and I have some plans for some pretty cool symbiote-themed videos, to say the least. So stay tuned for that, and if you want to support Comic Island, you can find the link to our Patreon page below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.